welcome to Bears Banter. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Tonight on the broadcast, we have Keith Flournoy, also known as Plank. We have Jay Beasley. We have Tammy Harris, and sitting in tonight as a guest, Christian Jones. I think Guy can't make it tonight. If he can, he's going to pop on when he get an opportunity. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, and you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Good. You know, we had an interesting week this week. Trade deadline came. You know, you had the interesting thing is we're playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins brought in a linebacker, and we got rid of a linebacker. That's interesting, right? I mean, they let go one of the top pass rushing. I'm trying to think, what team did they linebacker come from? Do you remember, Jay?
Denver. He came from Denver.
Denver let go one of their top linebackers and traded him to the Dolphins. And the Bears traded Roquan Smith to the Ravens. And this was actually a busy trade deadline week. I mean, usually in the NFL, you know, the reporters talk more about the trade than the actual activity that happened.
Right.
Hey, Plank, you want to start off the broadcast? Anything you got on your mind as reference to any of the activity this week or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This was a very busy week. I mean, we had just got over, the loss of Robert Quinn the week before, and everybody had an opportunity to adjust to that. Actually, I didn't think the Bears were going to do any moves at the trade deadline. So then they came out and decided to trade Roquan Smith. And at that point, I was, I felt a little bit like we lost ground because he's a good player. He's a good young player. But then they came right back the next day and got Chase Claypool, which builds up our wide receivers and turns us from a defensive team to an offensive team. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see what the Bears are going to do. Basically, they traded a 25-year-old linebacker for a 24-year-old wide receiver. I don't know if both of them at the same skill level or what have you, but I'm excited to see the direction that we're going.
Okay. Hey, Jay, what's your thoughts on anything that happened this week?
I'm happy about the Chase Claypool deal because that puts a big body, fast wide receiver in our receiver room, and I'm hoping that with him, and I was visiting him with N'Keal Harry and Darnell Mooney, and maybe a draft pick. I'm looking at future because the bottom line is when we came into this season, we all said we wasn't a playoff team. So if we're going to be able to build for the future, Claypool is under contract next year. So he got a 9-game year with us, and then next year as well before we have to talk about, renewing his contract. But I'm excited, Roquan Smith. I love Roquan. I'm a Roquan Smith fan, always been. But the stalemate came to a head, and the bottom line is one of the two things happened. You let him walk away and you get nothing, or you trade him for draft compensation. Because the bottom line is you're not going to pay him what he's looking for. He was looking to reset the market. And at his position, I'm sorry, people want to say, well, Chubb got this different position. It's a different position. I wish Roquan well, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens after these 9 games in the playoffs. What's going to happen with Roquan Smith?
Okay. Hey, Tammy, what's your thought on some of the trades that were made actually in the last 2 weeks?
Well, y'all already know I'm not happy about it. That's my personal feeling. But the way I look at it is we have to see how this all plays out, because at the moment, we don't know. We have a lot of unknowns. They're making decisions. They're making moves that they think are right. There are fans that agree with them and are hopeful about it. And there are fans that disagree with them and think they're making the wrong moves, or that there was another way to do it. Both could be right. But at the end of the day, as Bears fans, what we want is for them to win. So I hope that they win. I hope that what they're trying to play out works. I would have liked to see us retain certain players. I'm not the one making the decision, so it's not my call at the end of the day. So I can just dislike it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm still gonna root for the Bears. I don't know much about Claypool, but I asked my cousin about him because she is a diehard Steelers fan and always has been. Her take on him was that he is a young wide receiver with potential who has a lot of childish ways that he needs to get over and, work through. He is somewhat reminiscent, I was told, of what people thought about Brandon Marshall as far as being a ball hog and wanting the ball and having a hissy fit if the ball don't come to him. I don't know because I don't know nothing about him. That's just what I've heard. But I heard he has potential, but that actually for the last 2 years that he's been with the Steelers, that he hasn't lived up to that potential and he's been pretty average, that he hasn't done anything stellar. So I don't know. We'll see. But he has potential. So we'll see if he lives up to his potential or if he falls flat.
Okay. Hey, Christian, what's your thoughts on some of the trades?
Okay. So I didn't agree with the trade, trading Roquan, because I feel like it's opinion based. Like he's going to set the market at some position, and everybody's gonna have a different opinion about it. Some are gonna like it, and some gonna disagree with it. So I feel at some point Pose is going to pay somebody big time dollars at a position that the mass is gonna be like, I don't think so. And for me to see a guy that's 25, I felt like, hey, this is a building piece. The Claypool trade, I'm okay with it. I just hope that it works for Pole's sake and for Claypool's sake. Because, man, you would hate for this to be a situation where you got a young quarterback who can throw the ball deep and you can't make it work. And for Pole's sake, if it works, now he doesn't necessarily have to spend the draft capital on the first round pick getting a wide receiver, so it can help him out a little bit. So I pray that it works. So that's just my opinion on the whole trade thing.
Let me add one thing before Jim goes. By the way, I love Brandon Marshall. The word about him was that he was disruptive and a ball hog, but I personally like Brandon Marshall.
He was a diva. He was a wide receiver. He was a diva. But I just want to say something about Claypool. Claypool play fell off when Ben Roethlisberger fell off.
Yeah.
Claypool's rookie year, he had 800 and I want to say, if I remember correct, it was 892 yards and 9 touchdowns. Or 11 touchdowns.
He had 10. I think I looked at it. He had 10.
Okay, something like that. So as a rookie, he was productive when his quarterback was productive. Last year, Ben limped through the season with a bad elbow, and then this season they came in with Mr. Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, who's a rookie. So I just know watching Claypool over the last couple of years, as well as watching him at Notre Dame, the guy can play. He can play.
He can.
6'4", 238 pounds and running a 4.4 40. I'm with that.
He can.
I'm with that.
But they have wide receivers with the Steelers. They have a wide receiver core.
So but who?
Coming over here
who?
Situation.
Who?
Johnson is a beast. Johnson is a beast.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Really?
Yes,
you call it Deontay Johnson a beast?
About the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers always give up receivers. You notice that? The Pittsburgh Steelers trade receivers all the time. They had Juju Smith. You could go through a gang of them. I think Pittsburgh do not want to pay receivers.
Juju Smith Schuster is a good receiver. I'm not gonna say he's a beast. He's a good receiver.
Oh, I didn't say he was a beast.
But you saying so you're saying Deontay Johnson is better than Juju Smith-Schuster?
I didn't say he was top 10. I say he's a beast.
Oh, come on, man.
He's a beast.
Let me say what I was saying about
I watch the kid play. He's a beast. They got wide receivers over there.
Okay.
And also,
we agree to disagree.
And also, another reason why they trade Claypool is because of the growth and the development of the guy that we wanted from
George Pickens. George Pickens. Oh, absolutely. So, but to say Deontay Johnson is a beast. Deontay Johnson ain't even the top 10. He's not even a top 10 wide receiver in NFL. Come on, Kristen. Come on, man.
You know what I like to say about
your beast and my beast is totally different.
Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a second. What I like to say about what happened this week was I definitely, I guess last week, I was not disappointed in the Robert Quinn trade. I thought you just had to get something for him. He was not going to probably live up to it. He probably is an example of maybe a person who actually can go from a 3-4 to a 4-3. You know, it's not much different, but it may have made a difference to him having his hands in the ground. I don't know, or is this his every other year of playing? I don't know, but he was not being productive. Roquan, I like Roquan. I just had concerns when they went to a 3-4 with Roquan. Then I had more concerns on the sit out when he sit in, because I started expressing that he was going to be missing tackling sessions. And the bad thing about the NFL is tackling has gotten bad, and you don't have many sessions to tackle. And if you miss all training camp, the last time you end up tackling is the last game you played, which is a big gap, right? I mean, I know people who are great tacklers say, you should be you need those tackling sessions. So I was concerned about that. I did not think when I heard those rumors last week that he was going to be traded. I thought they was going to work something out. But from hearing I didn't even think I figured they'd work out a contract next year. But I definitely thought from hearing the press conference that it seemed more of like some of the stuff was personal. And when I say personal, I definitely could detect there seemed like there was something personal on Coach Flute's side, because some of the stuff seemed sarcastic. And Poles, it seemed like he was seemed more disappointed that he had to pull the trigger. So I don't know. I only could just go off what I interpret, but it definitely with Flutes, it seemed like there was something personal, because he definitely sounds sarcastic about it in the thing. What you got, Plank? And then we move on.
Yeah, right. I just want to address what Tammy said about Claypool. I don't disagree with any of it. But what you just talked about is the characteristics of a wide receiver. They are all divas, and they all want the ball all the time. That's why wide receivers are actually they affect such a change on the game, and they're paid so much. You start thinking about the Antonio Browns and Hill and some of the other receivers. That's their personalities. Same way a personality of a cornerback is arrogant. I think I can beat everybody in the world, but I guess you can tell that I'm a cornerback. So I think you're accurate. With your explanation. That's just kind of what
I'm just going to say this. I think there's a difference. I mean, I get y'all say wide receivers are divas, but I don't remember back in the day hearing that Jerry Rice was a ball hog or.
But
wait.
When you're the greatest of all time, you don't have to be. When you're the greatest of all time, you don't have to be.
That being an issue, and I don't remember people saying Jerry Rice was childish or certain other receivers were childish. I get you.
It's a different era. It's a different era.
But there's still a way that you go about doing it. And again, I don't watch the Steelers like that. I'm going off a diehard Steelers fan who watched every game, and she said he's childish, got some growing up to do, but he got potential.
Okay, just to argue.
It's a different era.
Jerry Rice Jerry Rice ended up crying and complaining in a game where T.O. got 20 passes thrown to him.
Against the Bears.
He wasn't getting the ball.
He sure did.
That argument that you're making, trust me, he was a diva. He was probably more diva than any of the other ones. And that's fine.
But
I think Tammy's talking about
you can be a diva. You go ahead.
Is that Larry?
More of like what Brandon Marshall was in the tenure of his tenure here, where he became like more of a cancer. Not like diva, like want the ball more, but like a distraction type. Is that where you come? Is that where you
Well,
going with?
that's what somebody said. Again, I don't know the man. I've never seen him play. I was doing research and I asked some people that I know watch the Steelers. So I was trying to get a read on him. I'm open. A lot of people say he has a lot of potential. I hope he plays out. I do. I hope he develops.
Yeah, you know what I would say
that
also, I know Mike Tomlin is a no-nonsense guy in the sense that it do seem like after a while he has this friction going on with players. You know, you didn't see it play out with Roethlisberger, but you seen it play out with what was the running back they had? They had the issue, right? They had the issue with him and Tomlin and a couple of players. But I understand the point Tam making. She's more talking about being more like a cancer because most of the receivers that give me the ball thing became kind of more public with Keyshawn Johnson. Because matter of fact, I think he even wrote a book. Throw me the damn ball, right?
Right.
But you got to say that we're gonna move on to this about this game.
But I just want to say about Claypool. You know, Claypool had one incident where he caught a pass. It was in a crucial part of the game. He caught a pass and he got up and he kind of like, you know, did his thing, pointing first down and all that. And it was like during a 2-minute drill where they needed to get the ball down and get the next snap. You know, in the NFL, you know, people they will take one thing and they will penalize you for it for the rest of your career. And the last thing I want to say about Jerry Rice is Jerry Rice can cry all he wants because guess what? He was the GOAT. Throw me the damn ball.
But I'm just saying he didn't know.
And he didn't. And he didn't. He did not.
And you're 100% right. It's a different era. It's a different era in every profession. Because
look at the wide receiver.
For me, they make me want to retire.
Look at the wide receiver last week, and I felt so bad for him. And we could go on. Was it Elijah Moore for the Panthers who called a winning touchdown in the end zone, and he was celebrating. And before he got off the field, he took his helmet off. 15-yard penalty. This thing with the NFL with these penalties, as far as like celebration, taking your helmet off, stuff like that. It needs to be rectified because it's an emotional game. And these guys do what they do because they get paid to do what they do. And for you to penalize me after I've just tied a game, a hard-fought game, I just made the winning touchdown, and you're going to penalize me 15 yards for taking off my helmet.
Well, you already know I think these penalties are over the top. So
it's got to change.
Like the same argument that I had they did for
DJ Moore.
Last year when the Bears played Pittsburgh. Same argument.
Same argument. Same argument.
But what you know is what they're gonna do. What do? You got to change your behavior.
Yeah, you know that's the weird part about the NFL, right? They have now allowed group celebrations on any type of play, right? You can run to the end zone and a group of people could dance. At one point, group celebrations was a penalty. But if an individual gets up like he did, I know you can't take your helmet off. And I think that should be conditional, right? In my opinion. Yeah, if there's an argument going on and you take your helmet off, yes, you're taking your helmet off to hit somebody with it. But
I can see.
He actually stepped out of the end zone
correct.
Before he took his helmet out. So that should have actually been legal. That's what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
So, and that's my thing. I can even see if it was in the middle of the field, he caught a first down and he took his helmet off. This dude just scored a touchdown, man. Come on. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna penalize this guy? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. So the NFL last night, it looked like the prime games are starting to at least show better than they were showing. Is anybody having the same issues?
Maybe they heard you complain.
Yeah, because they were actually they was looking real bad. But last night it was the Texans, and I'm trying to remember who the Texans played.
The Eagles.
The Eagles, the undefeated Eagles.
Hashtag Jalen Hurts. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know, that particular game, it started out looking pretty good. I mean, they was kind of matching them kind of point for point. And I guess I actually fell asleep at some point, and I think the final score was what, 29-14?
29-17, I believe.
17. Okay.
Yeah.
So hey, anyway,
they turned into the Texans. That's what happened.
Hey, they realized who they really was. hey, what are y'all games of the week that y'all gonna watch? What you got, Jay?
Green Bay, Detroit. Ooh, wait. In Detroit, I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. If Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers lose 5 in a row, I might sell my season tickets for the rest of the year.
No, you ain't.
You're not.
That's my game of the week. That's my game of the week.
My game of the week is the best game is going to be the Chiefs and the Titans, but the game of the week is going to be the Ravens and the Saints. I actually want to see how the Ravens are actually able to turn around their good fortune. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
Second best game. My second best team is playing, and this week my second favorite team is the Lions because they playing against Aaron Rodgers
and the Packers. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, my game of the week this week is actually Buffalo and the Jets. And it's my game of the week because I want to see if the Jets are really for real. I mean, they actually been winning games. The Jets are 5-3, and the Buffalo is 6-1. So I want to see if the Jets are for real or they just got a couple of
lucky breaks.
Hey, Tammy, Christian, what's y'all games of the week if y'all have one?
Ravens Saints.
Ravens Saints?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Tammy, what's your game of the week?
I don't know, but I'll go with what Jay said because I love to see the Lions beat the Packers. Me and Jay don't agree on something else, but we can agree on that.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'd like to thank everybody who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube tonight for tuning in to Bears Banter and giving us your Friday. Hey, we're at 597 subscribers. Basically, we only need 3 people who's watching us tonight to hit the subscribe button on YouTube so we could get to 600 subscribers. And also share Bears Banter with your friends. Bears Banter is one of the best. You know, I'm not doing it just to pat ourselves on the back, but I am patting ourselves on the back because Bears Banter is where the Bears fans meet to talk about the Bears. Hey, when we talk about we talked about the game a week. Do y'all have y'all top 2 and bottom 2? Are y'all ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I forgot
my top 2.
Guy's voice. Hold on, let me hit Guy's voice. He ain't here.
2. There you go.
There you go, Guy. You missed me tonight.
2 for 2. My top 2 is still. My top 2 is still. Kansas City and Buffalo. Yeah. As much as I want to put Philly in there, I love Philly. I love y'all know I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan, but I still got to go with Kansas City and Buffalo. And my bottom 2 right now is the Raiders and the Texans.
Okay. Anybody else got a top 2, bottom 2 for 2 for 2?
I'm gonna go.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bottom 2 is the Ravens. The Lions and the Texans. And I'm going to take the Chiefs as the top and Philadelphia. So,
okay. That's
my feeling. Sorry about that, Christian. What you got?
No, I was going to go with the Bills and Philadelphia, my top 2. Philly is the number 1 NFC team right now.
Yeah, they are.
What you have, Tammy? You have 2 for 2?
Well, I gotta go with Philly because they're still the only undefeated one. You can't knock it. It's surprising, but you can't knock it, right? But I'm torn because I also like the Bills and the Chiefs. So I'm like, okay, what's the other one of them 2 that I pick? Because it's hard because I like them both. But I like the Chiefs better, actually, to tell you the truth. But
you got a 1A and a 1B.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna say the Bills. I'm gonna say Philly and the Bills, and I'll say even though the Lions are in my bottom 2, I'm hoping they pull it out and beat Detroit. I mean, I'm hoping they pull it out and beat the Packers, even though they are in the bottom two. I'm hoping they prove me wrong. And I'll go with I don't want to put Lovey down there, so I'm gonna say Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, okay. Hey, my top two are the Eagles and the Bills, and my bottom two are Detroit and the Texans. Okay. Hey, we was on sprinkle. We was on sprinkle a little football 1-on-1 through our conversation tonight.
Thank you, Celeste.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sprinkle it into.
I think it's Celestino.
Yes, Celestino. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's one of my. What's up, 83? Swoop 83. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you for your service. He's in the military.
Wait, wrong for that.
Oh, thank you for your service. Yeah. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day, bro.
See this Bernard shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Hey, I want to sprinkle a little bit in there, some football 1-on-1, some terminology. For those who know this terminology, excuse us for being redundant. But for those who don't know it, we think it'll be great information for you. When we look, he's retired. Okay. Oh, awesome.
Oh, awesome. That's even better. Happy Veterans Day, bro. That's even better.
Mm-hmm. So
I just hope he was Army. That's all I'm saying.
So my granddad was Army.
Is that right? Okay.
Triple nickel. First all-black paratrooper group, airborne.
Right. All right.
Did he get out of there with his back okay?
Yeah, he was still jumping out of planes when he was walking on a cane.
Okay.
My grandmother was like, they would do it every year. My grandmother was like, you crazy? You crazy? You can't even walk. He said, I ain't gotta walk. I just gotta land.
He said Air Force.
Air Force.
Okay. Thank you for your service. All right.
Hey, so as the Bears are bringing, they just brought in Chase Claypool, and one of the things I heard in reference to Chase Claypool was some simple routes that he could run, where you don't have to do, since they haven't had a lot of time to work together. So between Jay and Christian or Plank, Tammy, whichever one, Christian, one of the terms I heard was a slip screen. What's a slip screen? Well, what makes that different than any other screen?
That's like that's mainly what a running back. Well, tight ends can run it too, where you get in a chip block and then you slip on the side of the defender, and after the rush has come so many times and you chip that DN or whoever you chip in so many times, you just slip right beside of them. That's technically what a slip screen is. Tight ends, they started doing in the West Coast offense. Tight ends starting to do it now too. They do a lot of it off of like a sprint out action, to where that tight end may have chipped that in to get that quarterback on the outside of the end, left or right. He'll slip right on the outside of them or the inside of them, depending on what the call is, whatever the play call is. But that's pretty much what a slip screen is.
Okay. See, that's why I mentioned that, because sometimes you hear people say something and sometimes it's being incorrectly used, right? Because they may say he could run a slip screen, but he's not a running back unless they line him up in the backfield or unless they line him up as a tight end. So that's why I wanted to bring that up, because sometimes it helps clear things up, because sometimes you can hear things wrong and then you just keep repeating it. But as far as what's the difference between an end around and a jet sweep?
So that comes on systems, and Jay know this too. Like, certain systems call it differently. I know, like, if you're in the spread, they're gonna call that a jet sweep. But like, if you like an air raid or pro style offense, they might call that like an end around, which is nothing but a reverse. And it's ran differently. Yeah, it's ran differently too. So like, end around is literally ran like a reverse, but it might not have no action that's leading to it to fool you. It just be that what it is, an end around. Like, there's nothing to fool you. There's no trickery. There's nothing. He's just coming in motion. He's just, quarterback just gonna get it to him at the top, like literally at the top, like 5-6 yards deep.
And I was just
jet sweep is really fast. Like you want to hike the ball if you're a quarterback. As soon as that wide receiver, running back, or tight end, whoever's running it, you want to hike the ball as soon as he gets to the to the tackle box. You want to hike the ball so he can get that speed because you want to get him out on the perimeter very fast. It's really fast. End around is different.
End around, and a lot of to me, Christian, a lot of systems are not really different from the end around the jet sweep. And the easiest way that I can say the difference is a jet sweep is right behind the offensive line where you got that guy going in motion and the quarterback is going to hand that ball off. The difference with the end around is he's going to come behind the quarterback and he's going to hand that ball off on the end around. That's the only difference.
6 yards deep. 6 yards deep.
Right, that I see in most of these games. But the jet sweep has become a lot popular in this modern style offense. But the end around reverse has been, people have been running that for decades.
Yeah, because some of the only other nuance that may happen in some systems is the jet sweep, the guy may be already in motion before the snap. Where
Absolutely.
The end around that, they say it depends on how they run it. The end around sometimes he may not start until the actual snap.
Right.
So,
it
depends on whether, but I know I've heard people kind of argue that on some programs, and I'm thinking like, how did you know that? Like which one it was? From the viewpoint, sometimes they look the same, right? Because sometimes you don't even see if the guy in motion, depending on the camera angle. Who's that look like? Plank, you was gonna say something. What you have, Plank?
Yeah, from a defensive standpoint, the difference is where is the receiver when the ball is hiked. Right. So if the receiver's out split wide, that ends up being an end around because he has to go all the way from the X or the Z.
From the X or the Z.
Versus if he's going in motion and as soon as he gets behind the quarterback, they hike the ball. That's more of a jet sweep. It looks different from a defensive standpoint as well.
Okay. Hey, now Jay, quarterbacks are under center, and they look at the receiver. The receiver look at them because they see something. And I hear the term "check with me." What does that mean?
Check with me.
Make it simple for us.
Check with me. What they doing is when the quarterback say "check with me," he's letting this wide receiver know to read what he's reading. Y'all got to be good to do this though. Everybody can't do that. When you call a check with me, that wide receiver and that quarterback is on the same page. And most of the time, when it's a check with me, if it's man coverage, he's going with the go route. If the quarterback is playing him outside and giving him the inside, he's going to go with the slant. But that's what that means. Check with me. The play that we called in the huddle is not it's me and you now. The play that we called in the huddle, we're not running that. So I want everybody to check with me. Y'all look at y'all man. If your man playing you inside, you go outside. If your man playing you outside, you go inside. That's what a check with me is. And check with me's gain a lot of yak if players are on the same page. They gain a lot of yak if players on the same page.
What you got, Plank?
Let me give you an example. Right now, I'm guarding Jay. Jay is a receiver, right? If he comes up to the front of the line and he sees this,
all day,
he's looking at that quarterback saying, "Check with me, throw it to me now, and I'm gonna beat that guy right off the line." That's an example of check with me. He's looking at what the alignment is and saying, "Oh man, I already got 6 quick yards." Well, in Jay's case, I already got 12 quick yards or what have you. And so he recognizing that defensive alignment ain't gonna be able to stop him.
Yeah.
What did that say?
Now, of course, if it's me, that's a different story.
And let me take it a little step further. So in college, we didn't have any signs. Our check with me's was based off of if you saw like how Plank was, like you automatically knew. Like it wasn't no signs we were looking. It was already in put in our system. So like we had like press coverage. We already knew what we was gonna run off of that. So you had to be studying. You had to know what you were supposed to do. So like when I got to college, we didn't really do like certain signs or anything or a signal or nothing like that. If we got a look, we already automatically knew that we was going into that. Now I might have to check with my line to let them know if it was a run play that we getting out of that. But as far as my wide receivers, they were already supposed to have known. And then RPOs and stuff came later, but that was like after my time. I know I'm young, but like we didn't do that when I was in school, like at all. So I wish.
Well, they just called it the fear or the wishbone back then. That's all.
Because like, what was the wishbone? No, I know he's
I ran the wishbone before. I hated it. It's not fun.
Right.
That was one of the
not fun.
that was in the 80s. That was one of the greatest things, man. When they came out, when Oklahoma came out with Jamil White with the wishbone. Jamil Holloway. Thank you. Man, Holloway was like the great. We was like, oh my God, they just created something. What the hell is going on?
You gotta be
man, that was great.
Cookie though,
that was great.
So if you get that ball from that mesh, if you don't read it right, you about to get smacked. Or so you get around that corner, you got to be ready for that linebacker, that corner that's coming down. Either you gonna pitch it or you getting smacked. So it's either one. Man, I never liked the wishbone. I played in it. It was not fun.
Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a big thing in the early 80s for us. We was like, they running the wishbone. Oh my God, this is great. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Jimmy, for tuning in tonight, and Mark Chin, Celestino, and other people that's out there watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Please leave your comments. Hey, Christian, that's a pretty good point that you mentioned about when you have check with means and they already understood, and this is why sometimes you'll see a quarterback throw a pass. Sometimes, for example, that leads to a turnover. And you're like, who is he throwing to? Because that was a check with me that the quarterback probably saw, and he knew the receiver knew that that's what it was supposed to be, but he actually did not do what the check with me was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So he threw to where the receiver had actually was doing the check with me at. That's an example of what might happen. And he throws there, and the receiver doesn't go there. But the interesting thing is, sometimes the D-back from study realize that's what they're gonna do, and it looks like even more crazy because the D-back is actually where it was supposed to go.
You ran the wrong route, dude. You're supposed to run this route.
Yeah, but that's why like in a lot of systems they start implementing those signs and just automatically knowing if you get this look, this is where we're going. We're not going to run this route. We're not going to run this play. We just going to automatically go to it because people watch film. So they looking off of your alignment. They looking off how you do stuff. They looking at your hand signal. They like, oh, okay, we know this is what they're doing. So a lot of times, check with me is already in whatever play call, especially if it's a pass play. Now, if it's an RPO, then it's different because like now you might get a certain look and it might be okay off of this RPO. It's a slant, or this RPO you running a hitch or something. But this guy's been pressing you all day, so you might want to take it over the top. So that's something that you might make a sign with and say like, okay, we going there with. So it just depends on the system too. But I know the system that we play and we read in the spread, and a lot of our stuff off of a look, we was going straight to it. And if it was a run play, and I seen a certain look, I would check with the line and I would give them one single code, which they would know that we're going into either scat protection, was 5-man protection, or they sliding left or right, depending on what it was. So if they were sliding, and I'm talking about a full slide, not a half slide, but a full slide, then that means that I got the closest man to my right or left, wherever the play side was, and he's my responsibility. So he's coming on block. And that check with me, I'm getting the ball either out fast or I'm doing something. It just depends.
Okay. Hey,
Mark Chin said you ain't that young, man. So he said,
right. You catching up with us now, bro. You catching up.
Right.
We just
still young.
A little football one-on-one in before we got to the predictions tonight. That's a basic football terminology. And Christian just used the word RPO. What is the difference between a RPO? Tell me what it is, and a read zone read. What's the difference?
Ooh.
Oh, is there a difference?
This gonna have to take. It is definitely. We gonna have to do.
Let's give us the layman 10-second, like what the words RPO mean, right?
Run pass
Run
option.
Run pass option.
Okay.
Look at that, Tammy. You go, girl.
Look at Tammy. She ain't the first lady for nothing. She ain't the first lady for
right?
nothing.
No, right?
Okay. Let's come back to this.
Yeah,
now.
we can do RPO. That zone read will take me a minute. Because
let's come back to the zone read.
Yeah, because
I
already go like Ravens. They do a lot of that.
A lot of zone read. They do a lot of zone read.
Jackson, they do like 80% of what they do is that. So that would have to take me a whole segment. But RPO is really easy for me to explain. All it is that you might have, you have a run option. And off that run option, the quarterback got an opportunity based off of the coverage or based off of the alignment of the defensive end or linebackers to either give it or pull it. It's just that simple. And it just depends on where that run play is. So a stretch, for instance, a lot of times stretching, okay, so if we stretching to the right, what is that? The right end, the right defensive end is normally unblocked. So if you the offensive coordinator, right, Jay, and Jay says, yo, let's do RPO action because Plank isn't jamming, he's letting free release off of Bernard. All I'm gonna do is I got a slant backside. If we got that that stretch going to the right, I'm just putting the ball into the running back's stomach. I'm giving a good play fake, and I'm just turning. I'm firing the ball straight to Bernard, just like that. That's all the RPO is, and it's not necessarily just a slant. That was just an example. It can be any route.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to the read zone. We're gonna do that on a separate program because I know it's a whole lot of technicalities.
I have to be in Professor Plank and Jay Jones for real.
Me, Plank, and Jay all played football in the 80s. Okay, there was no way a team could actually have a play that looked like a pass and looked like a run because a lineman had to either fire off the ball, or he went into a pass. So what happened? What changed where you could actually fool the defense, Plank? Is there something, or Jay, that changed that play? See, I'm saying this for the old heads, right? Is there something different that the rules changed or something that allowed that to happen?
Actually, no, because
I disagree, Plank.
Okay, let's talk it out, okay? So out of the veer, a lot of times what the quarterback would do, his first read would look at the running back. Well, his first read, he's looking at the defensive end to determine whether he's trying to commit or not. If the defensive end doesn't commit, he's going to get a ball to the running back. If he does commit, he's going to go ahead and do whatever he has to do. At the same time, when you're running that veer, you have to have it where your linemen only get 1 yard off the ball when they fire. If they try to drive somebody down 5 yards, as soon as you turn that into a pass play, that's going to be a penalty. So it's not just the quarterback and the running backs that have to be aware of it. Your whole line has to block differently as well. Go ahead, Jay. What you got?
And see, to me, the difference is your linemen are now more athletic. And I don't want to go into it, but that's what we talk about, the zone blocking. That's when now your linemen are hitting that first player. They hitting that first player and they get into the second level. That's the difference now. That's the difference now between back, as we say, in the 80s versus now. These linemen are getting to the second level so quickly, but the game has changed. And just talking about the RPO, Justin Fields, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but Justin Fields been running some RPOs these last couple of weeks, and he's been keeping the ball. It's time now to take that a little further, where he's not giving it, he's not handing it off, or he's not running it. He's actually doing the pass on the opposite. It's so much right now that he's put on film in these last couple of weeks with this RPO that could actually benefit them, especially with Chase Claypool in the lineup. This dude, if he can get like 15 plays, I actually think he's gonna score a touchdown this week. But I'll say that for the next segment. But Chase Claypool is gonna score a touchdown this week.
Okay, but it did sound like what Mike said is the linemen sound like they can at least get 1 yard down the field. I definitely know that back in the day, you stepped across that line, you was illegal man down the field. So I believe that 1 yard becomes deceptive to the defense, right? Because the guy can fire off and engage you, and you believe it's a run play, right?
Because now I believe. Because now I believe, if somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but now I believe like lineman can fire off the ball and be 3 yards as opposed to 1 yard now. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3 yards now.
Is it 3 now?
Is it 3? Is it 3 yards now? You can fire off the ball and be 3 yards. Anything after 3 yards, then now you're a legal man downfield.
That's
so
what I
the game has changed, man.
That's what I wanted to say. Like, I agree with both of y'all. Like, both of y'all actually made really, really good points that neither one of y'all are wrong. One, they used to run stretches totally different back in the day, to where it was more like dual, to where it was just double team, and then really, if you got to the second level, then good job, but it wasn't really emphasized. Now, like Jay said, you hit your man, you get to the second level. Hit your man, get to the second level. And I also want to add, I'm not gonna give him credit because I don't really too much care for him, but Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow really, really, really were like pioneers.
Yes, they did. Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Tim Tebow got to the point of where now you don't account for the quarterback. Never account for the quarterback. So when you pull it, and now you got just as good of an arm to just throw a slant pattern, that's hard to defend, because that backside end that you're running from, he's been coming down the line hard every single time. Because he's trying to get that running back or that quarterback all game. So when you pull it and then now you put a pass with it, it's so hard to defend. So that's why I said I agree with both of y'all, because yes, it is blocked differently, and yes, nothing has changed. It has not changed. But yes, guys are more athletic, and now you add the quarterback into it. Now it's 11 on 11, and you don't normally get that. So now it's like, how do you defend this?
Okay. Hey, Guy, I see, Guy, you in the chat. I know you got caught up. Hey, man, if you want to jump on, you got the code. Just jump on. We could join. You could add you right in the middle of this program.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Tammy, I know you was looking at the some of the picks. Hold on, let me pull this up. Hold on. Bring this in.
It's a close one.
Where are we at?
Almost 50-50, but not quite.
There we go. Okay. Let me know when you want me to stroll. Here we go.
You can switch right now, or at least at the moment that I picked this, it was 52% going for the Bears to win, 48% going against. I was going back and forth because
good God.
While I want the Bears to win, I don't know if they're gonna win, so I was going back and forth on what my pick is. But some tried and true people, I would say Ivan picks the Bears 80% of the time, at least more often than not. He's rooting for the Bears. I was actually surprised that Andre was rooting for the Bears. Sharon and Christy, they're rooting for the Bears. I saw some new names. Chuck Music, do y'all know him? I don't know that name, but he's new. Mike Patterson is rooting for the Bears, but I did not change that to Dolphins. Oh, I see. I didn't change it to that.
I didn't know
supposed to say Dolphins.
I was just going to say that, but
Bob said, didn't he have a perfect record for a while?
Yes. Yes.
He's going with the Dolphins. James, who I might meet at the Atlanta game couple weeks. He's going with the Dolphins. Mo, who joins us from time to time, he's going with the Dolphins. Lavelle Jones, who comments a lot on the page, he's going with the Dolphins. So we're kind of split. Even some people who normally want to ride with the Bears, especially Mo, they picking the Dolphins this week.
Okay. Guy said he's in witness protection program. Oh man. Oh no, bro.
That ain't good. That ain't never good.
No. Hey, we feel you, brother. Hey, I wanted to look at some other things with the Chicago Bears before we get to the picks. Hold on, let me see if I add this to the stream. The week number 9, the Bears and the Dolphins. And I wanted to start off with something I haven't talked about this year, and this is turnovers. I am personally starting to get a little concerned that I'm starting to see too many balls on the ground by the Chicago Bears offense. They have recovered quite a few of them, but there are quite a few balls on the ground. In the last game, Montgomery might have been the only turnover by a fumble, but there was a few balls on the ground even before that happened. That they've been fortunate a few times where balls have rolled out of bounds. They have recovered. Matter of fact, I want to say in that same game, if I'm not mixing the games together, Herbert ran into the back of his lineman and fumbled the ball, but he was able to regain. He was able to regain control of the ball before it was ruled a fumble. So hey, let's get back to this giveaways. The Bears have 12 giveaways this year. They have 6 interceptions and 6 fumbles. Takeaways, they have 13 total takeaways. They have 9 interceptions and 4 fumble recoveries. There have been a whole lot more fumbles on the ground that they just haven't had the luck of actually picking those balls up. The differentiation is a +1. For those who are new to football, all that means is you're on the positive sides when it comes to turnovers, giveaways, and takeaways. The Dolphins have 10 giveaways. They have 7 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Takeaways, total of 7. They have 4 interceptions and 3 fumbles. The differentiation is a -3. Which is really not that good, right? Because you're actually giving the ball away.
More than you taking it away. Actually,
you're taking it away. Hey, any of y'all got any comments on that particular part, the giveaways and takeaways? Yes.
I do. I actually had a conversation with an old college buddy of mine I played ball with. And he was just like, have you noticed that high scoring games, it's where there's more possessions, that sloppy ball? I said, I never really paid attention to that.
Yep.
And you've seen these last 2 games that we've been scoring a lot. The offense been on the field a lot. It's been a sloppy ball. And there's no excuse or nothing. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, if you start paying attention to it, let me know, because I want to know if that's really true or not. Because right now it's just a theory conversation I had with my friend and whatnot. But, man, these last 2 games, like you said, Bernard, it really has been a lot of turnovers. But I also look at the possessions and the time of possession that we was on the field and how many possessions we were getting. We were on the field quite a lot. That's not normal for us either. So, that's neat.
Yeah.
The more
not in a good way.
The more you possess the ball, the more you have a possibility of turning the ball over. And that's any team. If you're not a high scoring, prolific offense, the more times you have the ball, the more times you can actually turn it over. And that's what's been happening with the Bears for the last several weeks. Fortunately, like Bernard said, a lot of these turnovers we were able to get back.
Yeah.
We had some crucial turnovers that we didn't get back, which cost us a couple of games. But yeah, the more time, the longer you possess the ball, the more time you have to turn it over.
Yeah, that can be misleading, though, because sometimes, like last week, Dallas just scored every time they got the ball. So we ended up, beating them as far as time of possession, but they were scoring almost immediately. That was the worst defense I've seen in a number of years.
6 possessions, 6 touchdowns. That's not good.
The 49ers were doing pretty good. They were just killing us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Cowboys, they scored 49 points.
So the offensive defensive rankings, the Bears offense is at 26.
Wow.
And believe it or not,
okay.
the teams with worse offenses than the Bears, the Steelers, the Panthers, the Ravens, the Rams, the Texans, and then last
not the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Rams,
the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl champions?
Super Bowl champion with all the high price tag players. Their offense is ranked 30th. Matt Stafford, who had turned the corner and he had was the next comment of Joe Montana or whatever they were saying last year. They ranked 30th. The Titans are 31st. I'm sorry, the Texans are 31st, and the Titans are last. Bears defense
with King Henry.
Yep.
Oh my. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just being facetious right now. I'm just saying.
So the Bears offense, after they gave up that 49 burger, they dropped from rank 12 to 16. They're allowing 22.6 points a game. The Bears offense is scoring 19.4 points a game. The Dolphins offense is ranked 7th. And hold on, let me read this. They averaging 22.3 points a game. The defense is ranked 23rd, and they're allowing 24 points a game. Wow, that's a lot of points that their defense is actually allowing. So yeah. So maybe
and they only scored
Chubb.
And they only scored 23, but they give up 24. That's all I'm saying.
So what do the Bears need to do to win this game? I mean, you're playing against two of the most scariest receivers in the league as far as yak yards. These two guys, they catch the ball and they could go. I mean, Tyreek Hill, he's one of the rare times that a guy could fly who actually could run routes and catch the ball. I mean, maybe another example might be Steve Smith of a guy who could really run. But most of the time in NFL history, guys who really ran that fast were track guys trying to play football. So what can the Bears do? What you got? I see you, Jay. I see you like nod. What's going on? What can they do?
Guess what? I told you I'm a stat guy. If you look at the stats, the Dolphins are ranked, I want to say 30th or 31st in yards after the catch. Everything that they score is in the air. It's not yards after the catch. It's not breaking tackles and running. So they got some scary wide receivers. Yeah, they do. But if you could cover them, you'll be okay. Tua has mastered, because he doesn't have a strong arm. He's not a strong-armed quarterback, but he's very accurate. And he's getting the ball to the receivers in the air. So it's not about yak. It's not about yak with the Dolphins. They put the ball in the air in the end zone. So with that said, our secondary is going to be tested. My favorite new Bear, Brisker. You got to bring it today. You got to bring it Sunday, because if you don't bring it Sunday, you and Eddie Jackson are going to look really, really bad. Y'all going to look really bad.
Okay. Hey, Plank, it look like your hometown guy, Jack Sanborn, look like he's going to be starting. So defensively, what are they going to have to do? Because it looked like, for what we could hear from reports, that Morrow is going to be moved to the weak side where Roquan had just been traded from, and Jack Sanborn may start him. There's no confirmation on that, but that's what looked like.
That's what's going to happen
as far as practice. So what do you think those two people are going to have to expect? Because I don't really see a lot out of Sanborn. Not Sanborn, but Morrow.
Well, I've been watching Sanborn for a number of years. This dude is a tackling machine. He's a rookie, so we're not going to expect him to be the replacement for Roquan. Get that out your head. He's going to come out there and try to be the best Jack Sanborn that he can be. What does he bring to the table? He's a sure tackler. He's a good thinker, okay? As far as Morrow being better at the wheel, I think that's a good move. But from a defensive standpoint, our major problem is the defensive line is not giving us any type of push.
Absolutely. Right.
So we can't put it all on the linebackers and the DBs, because you can't get to 5-6 seconds in order to throw the ball. So defensively, I'm a little bit taken aback by what we have to offer. I'm hoping that we have a good game, but I'm more than a little bit worried about where we're getting from a defensive lineman, unless we start, doing blitzes and trying to discover coverage. Tariq Hill and Waddle, those two are a problem, and they tight end as well. So
Mike Gesicki, yeah,
an interesting game. What you got, Christian? I saw that you were waving as well.
People gonna call me crazy.
You crazy? I'm sorry.
Not me, not me.
But as a quarterback, one of the hardest coverages to complete passes is actually man. I think that we need to get out of the cover 2 for this week and at least try something different. Because if you let that man sit back there and pick you apart with unwide receivers and you give them free release, it is going to be 60 points. And you allow them to run the ball, it is going to be 60 points. You cannot, in this league, you cannot just sit and play zone all day. Quarterbacks are too good, wide receivers are too good. You cannot let guys that run 4.4 speed, got 4.4 speed, just free release off the line of scrimmage. You're going to have to mix it up. You're going to have to bring some pressure. If you get burnt, it's okay, but you have to do something different or it's going to be 60. So that would, if I were the defensive coordinator, I would just bring the heat. I understand. Well, Kristen, y'all got Kendall Vildor out there. I understand that. But, hey, you got to do better than that, because if you allowed him, who can't play zone, I know he can't play man either, but he's terrible in zone, so you got to do something. Because other than that, if Tyreek Hill, he getting one of those creases behind the zone, it's night and day. We've seen him throw the peace sign against somebody that was in zone and took it 60 yards like it was nothing. So I know you're saying, well, why wouldn't you do that in man? Because in man, if you bring pressure, it's a possibility a guy might get home and that ball might not get completed. That's just me. I've played against man and I struggled against it, because if you got corners who actually want to get in your face, and if a quarterback misses a blitzer here or pressure here, that's good for you. So that's what I would do. Okay. I know y'all calling me crazy.
I think you're crazy, Christian. I do. I would do that. You telling me that you on a corner to get man to man?
Not the whole game. Not the whole game. Not the whole game. But at least you sit in zone. We sit in zone 80% of this year, and we've gotten killed. So now you're saying you're gonna sit in zone and allow these guys that got speed to just go up and down. You're not going to stop them. You're not going to stop them anyway. I will at least bring pressure, because you can't bring pressure. You cannot bring pressure, full pressure.
With your front foot. You can't bring pressure.
You can't bring pressure in zone. You can't. You can't do it.
And the thing about that is what you can't do is you don't bring pressure with your front four. So that's the sad thing about what you're saying, Kristen, is kind of ideal if you can bring pressure with your front four.
That's why I said
your front four can't get pressure. So
that's what I'm saying. We got to blitz because we can't get no pressure. And if you let that man sit back there all day, it's a wrap.
Hey, Tammy.
From me first. I didn't say the whole game, though. I didn't say the whole game.
I want to ask Tammy this question. Tammy, as scary as we making it sound, the Vikings, when they played the Vikings, they lost. They only scored 16 points. I can't remember if Tua played in that game or not. When they played the Jets, they only had 17 points, and they lost. They played the Bengals. They only had 15 points, and they lost. They only averaged 22 points. So with all the yards they're talking about, they still only averaged 22 points. So, Tammy, what can the Bears do to win this game?
Well, what I can say is in those other games, they weren't playing our defense, and our defense is giving up more and more points. So they are going to score more points, period. In my opinion, the only way they are going to win this game is if the wide receivers help Justin Fields out and catch some of those difficult balls and some of those balls that they should catch that they haven't been catching, because the offense
exactly right.
is going to have to score some points to make up for what the defense does not do.
You're exactly right.
Yeah,
You're exactly right.
think so. I agree with you, Tammy.
You're exactly right.
I think the Bears going to have slow offensive possessions. I think they're going to have to get those turnovers. It looks like from looking at them, they will give you the ball.
And the thing about it is, as Tammy said, the wide receivers, Miami's pass defense, I think, is ranked like 26.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
So this would be the game. As much as the Bears run the football, we lead the league in running the football. I'm not saying abandon the run, but at the same time, you got to attack their secondary, because they're not good, and they have several injuries in that secondary where they're not going to play this week. So you have to attack the secondary.
Mike?
Yeah, I think the Bears got a much better chance of having a more potent offense because they got Claypool. Because he actually part of what was his problem was in Pittsburgh is they had him playing in the slot, and he's not a slot receiver. Yeah. By the same token, with the Bears, he gets to move to the outside, so he gets to be either the X or the Z. And at the same time, that allows Darnell Mooney to move in a slot where he has always been a problem. So I think just that dynamic is going to make the Bears offense much better.
Yeah, I do think in the red zone, you have two big targets now. You have, what's that, Harry? Harry, is that his name?
Yeah.
You have Harry and Claypool, and we did see a red zone touchdown last week by Harry last week. Yeah, and Cole Kmet, right? So really, you have three. I mean, I know the Bears haven't used Cole Kmet much as a red zone target, but you're now starting to get those, because that's been one of the issues is scoring in the red zone. So you do have some big bodies, and then you actually have a guy like Claypool that maybe you could throw those balls up that don't have to be perfect.
He gonna catch that ball that St. Brown dropped.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He gonna catch that ball that Mooney dropped. He gonna catch that ball that Mooney bobbled.
I will agree.
Hey, so we're looking at our records. Some of our records look like the Bears record.
All y'all records look like
all
the Bears
record. And you know what's funny? If you looked at it, you would think because we homers, but you know what? I know some of the games, the 5 games I lost, some of them I just hit the wrong pick, right? It wasn't necessarily that I picked the Bears, right? I might have picked the game that they won, or I picked the game that they lost, or whatever, but it just ended up working out that way. But Jay is 5-3, Guy 3-5, Quick 3-5, me, Tammy, Plank, Christian, all us 3-5. So,
but see, my record would be different if I said when I told you, I said I'm gonna go with the Bears. I don't think they're gonna win, but I'm gonna go with them and hope that they win for me for my birthday. And they didn't. I didn't think they were gonna win. I should have picked what I thought.
Yeah, but
what had happened was.
Yeah, what had happened was.
See what had happened was.
I knew they wasn't gonna win, but I was hoping.
Okay. Right. So you want credit for that now, right?
No, I don't want credit because I made a decision.
Hey, Jimmy.
I made a decision, and I was like, I went against what I knew.
Hey, Jimmy Red said, "Hey,
I'm always picking the Bears. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at him either.
I ain't mad at you, Frat. For real, I ain't mad at you."
Hey, so are y'all ready for y'all predictions yet, or y'all need a little time, or?
No, I'm ready.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
I haven't even wrote mine down yet. Who want to start it off first?
I can.
Like Jay, go. Let him go.
You up, Jay?
He's gonna pick in the Bears 2-0.
I like the Claypool pickup, and y'all know I'm an offensive guy. I love defense, but I'm an offensive guy. I like the Claypool pickup, and I said earlier in the show I think he's gonna score this week, and I'm actually picking the Bears, not only because they're the Bears, but the Bears seem to play. If people want to check what I'm saying. Do a fact check. The Bears play well against AFC teams for some reason. And with that said, I'm going to pick the Bears 26-23.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Hey, Jay said 26-23. Bears over the Dolphins. Anybody else ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Because we got Claypool, and again, I think the receivers are aligned in positions that are more suitable to them. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game on both sides because I know we're going to miss Roquan, and we're going to miss the leadership of Quinn as well, and we replace them with some players that aren't familiar with those positions. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I got the Bears 35, the Dolphins 33.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me put that down here.
Whoa.
Got the Bears 35.
Good God.
And the Dolphins 33.
Whoa.
If you'd have told me that gave up 49 last week, I'd have said the same thing.
Man, you know what? I'm looking at y'all's scores.
That's true.
And early this week, I picked the Dolphins. And I know I'm going out of my mind. And
don't change your mind, bro.
No, I'm saying I'm going out of my mind because actually what I wrote down is going to surprise y'all. I think the defense is going to give up a lot of points. I think they're going to miss Roquan. I think you're not going to have a pass rush. But for some crazy reason, I think Claypool's going to make a difference on some of those drop passes. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick. That's why I'm playing say the score. I'm actually picking the Bears 35-30.
What?
Yeah, Jimmy Red has the Bears 24-21. Celestino has the Bears winning 30. What do you have? 35-32.
35-32.
Okay, we're down to Kristen and Tammy. Tammy got that look like, oh man, I didn't expect this.
I want to pick the Bears, but I gotta have something to say. Come on, what you got?
First lady, you can
No, Kristen, you go.
Tell me like I'm stunned. See, like I'm stunned.
This is my thinking. I know that Claypool is not gonna play a lot because he just got here, but I do feel like we're gonna get in the red zone a lot. And I do agree. I do think that he might score at least twice. So
he said twice. I said once. He said twice. I'm like,
I'm saying, you know why I'm saying twice though? Jay?
No need to explain, bro.
He's good. He's good at high pointing the ball, and that's Justin.
Absolutely.
That's his strong suit. So, Justin last game had 3 balls that should have been caught. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
you get a wide receiver, and you can dumb it down in the red zone. That's why I said like 2 times. Like you can just say like, "Hey, we just gonna throw a fade to you at the top and see what happens." I think he gonna win those. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I didn't pick it. I didn't put it on there, but I'm gonna go with the Bears because I like the way our offense look, and I think Lugessi has been these last 3 weeks. I think he's been the best coach on the Bears roster of coaches. Honestly, just his play calling, just his demeanor and everything he's done has been consistent. So I'm going to say Bears, I'm going to say 30, 24.
30,
21.
24.
30, 21. 30, 21.
30, 21. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, Tammy.
Wow.
Tammy, you in a very, I wish I had a drum roll. I'm going to have to save one on this program. Tammy, you can either gain some ground on us. You could gain some ground, or you could just stay with us.
See, I've been going back and forth, even on the poll. I don't know if y'all look, but I kept going back and forth. I picked the Bears at first, then I picked the Dolphins, then I picked the Bears, then I picked the Dolphins. I've been going back and forth. Because at first I said, okay, we're going to win because we play better at home. The offense has been playing better.
Yep.
Maybe if they can connect on some of these drop passes, maybe we can put up the points that we need to in order to pull this off, because the defense is going to give up some points. And then I would change to the Dolphins because I was like, the defense is going to give up too many points, and the offense, even if they play well, they're not going to be able to keep up. So I was going back and forth and back and forth. But I do agree with Keith on this point. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Lord, I'm going to pick the Bears. And I'm going to say 35-28.
35-28. Oh, wow. Man, this actually, we got 100.
I'm hoping the defense show up a little bit.
We all agree on something.
I'm hoping the defense show up a little bit to contain
y'all ambitious, though.
More than 35 points.
Y'all ambitious. I picked the close game. Y'all ambitious. Y'all in the 30s. I'm like,
we just gave up 49 points, bro. Come on.
And we was around the 30 mark. We was around the 30 mark for
it's gonna have to be a shootout if they win, or some kind of a shootout, because they're gonna give up the point. The defense is gonna give up the point.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I know we went
I'm
a little
not taking
bit
that
long
personally.
tonight.
I agree.
No, I'm not saying you're taking it personally. I don't want the defense to give up the points. I don't like when our defense look bad. It pisses me off when our defense look bad. I'd rather win 15-9 than lose 49-35.
I like it or not. And like
breathe, girl, breathe.
The Bears offense look good against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have a pretty good defense.
Yeah, they did. They scored 29 points.
They look really good. And they found a way how to neutralize Michael Parsons. So
maybe I'll have a snowstorm in Miami next week.
So
hey, to the viewers, I'm sorry we went a little bit long tonight. I know we sprinkled a little football 1-on-1, so it took a little longer than normal. But Sunday at noon, Chicago Bears play the Miami Dolphins. And our predictions for this game was Jake had the Bears winning 26-23. I had the Bears winning 35-30. Plank has the Bears winning 35-33. Christian has the Bears winning 30-21. Christian, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Tammy has the Bears winning 35-28. Guy has the Dolphins winning. Oh, so we didn't get 100%. Guy has the Dolphins winning 23-20. Okay.
So what was the 24 or whatever? What did he say?
Hold on. Hold
on.
He got a long sentence here. What did he say?
Sanborn needs to do what he did during the preseason. If we could contain Tua.
Oh, he said every subsequent
game. I'm picking the Bears 24-20 for every subsequent game after
this. So he's picking them to lose.
Yeah. So he picking the fans 23-20, but he picking the Bears to win 24-20 after this.
Okay. So Guy may be the only one. If the Bears lose, Guy could gain ground. If the Bears win, all us gonna gain ground, and Guy gonna be in last place. It's lonely in the bottom.
It's lonely at the top too.
Mo picked the Dolphins too.
Mo picked the Dolphins. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So him and if the Bears win, Mo
I was surprised.
Mo and Guy will have company together, but Jay will still be on the top by himself.
It's lonely at the top.
Hey, nothing like being on the top, right?
I know, right?
Hey, we'd like to thank everybody for watching us tonight. Do y'all have any words before we close out for the night? We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Go Bears! Go Bears!
I'm gonna say this. Hopefully, two people on defense step up, and because we need that for development, and let's go. Yeah. Hopefully, two people step up. That's all we need. Just two people to step up, and we gonna be good.
Do your job, right?
Travis Gibson and Demetrius Robinson, the defensive end. If we can get those two, if we can get our ends to step up, we'll be okay.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I did forget to mention that I believe Larry Bourne.
Dominique Robinson is his name.
Larry Bourne is not going to play in this game.
Well, he cleared,
but I don't think
but he's not going to play. Yeah, he cleared concussive protocol, but he's not gonna play.
Yeah, because
he
missed all. He cleared too late to play. I mean,
so we gonna see
work on the game plan or anything. So
because Riley Reese did okay last week. That's
right. I was going to say,
right.
Yeah, he did okay last week. So we'll see.
I'm sorry, there's enough tape on Larry Borum. You're a backup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, you know, it ain't too many teams that can say we start 2 fifth-round tackles on our team. A 7-year guy and a rookie.
What is it?
So it ain't too many teams.
You get what 12 film, like what is it? 12 games of film. That's what it is. 12 games of film.
That's all it takes
to evaluate. And he's had that, so he's a backup.
Yeah.
They gave him his opportunity.
Yeah, he's a backup.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised. Don't be. I'm sorry, and we can
no problem.
Don't be surprised if he cleared concussive protocol and he's back starting next week. Because again, you still try to develop players. And Riley Reef, you signed him on a 1-year contract for $12 million. So now you just trying to get him hurt or at least get him broke in. I mean, $12 million sitting on the bench.
At this point, if he's blocking better and he can help our quarterback stay upright, I'd rather play him than Borum, in my opinion, because neither one of them going to be starting next year anyway. You kind of have an idea of who's going to be starting on the offensive line next year, and it ain't going to be Borum.
But to me, it's still all about development. And if you can develop Borum and coming into his 3rd year next year, I'm all for that. Because Braxton Jones, they gave up 6 sacks and like 12 quarterback pressures this year, and ain't nobody took him off the field yet. So if it's about development, let him develop. Riley Reef is not going to be here next year. You still got Borum. He got another 1.5 years left on his contract. So once he's cleared to play, put him back in.
Yeah, I mean that was the person I actually expressed some concerns about was Larry Borum when I saw him in preseason. That was one of the people. I mean, I just thought his technique needed work, and for him to have played some games last year, he still kind of looked the same as far as that part. But let's see what happens. Thank everybody for tuning in. Peace.